Chill here with Sirius Dallas Moon, and I want to talk about some positive things. Goes so our sun is meeting Fomal out, and towards this eclipse, the previous eclipse, yes, there are all these very challenging topics, but I'd like to remind us that Aries is about the I am. Like I said for so many years, drop the Peter Rings I am, and in Verbatim. Um, the more we move through Aries, even with Mars in Pisces, yes, all of those conflicts and things rise to the surface, but because they force us to speak our truth, and they force us to speak the deepest truth that would swipe under the rug. And not only that, there's something about this thing that forces us to speak the truth outside of ourselves, where if, let's say, there are things that were sitting there dredging for maybe years, maybe decades, or things that up until now, um, yeah, for example, I had this thing where, oh, something came up in the astral. I was completely lonely and overwhelmed with it, and I didn't want to make assumptions. So there was several years that I was like, it was like dredging up, needing to speak out but not wanting to assume, not really knowing exactly. And there are a lot of such topics that are, because more people push for the truth, so more truth is unveiling. Certain things we weren't sure about is like, okay, so that was that. Okay, okay. So she's not. No. So what happened? It just happened. And nothing says more it just happened like a personality cult with people having bids and switching. Okay, but this is also where I want to talk about the good things, because from these truths that we are pushed to the corner, not because necessarily we wanted to lie or we wanted to mislead, but because certain things like not being even sure what the fuck is happening and not wanting to make assumptions, all these things forge an I am. And in the past, a lot of the relationship struggles that people had, and look at this, Venus was crossing Rahu with the previous eclipse. There's something highly relational about Mercury retrograde eclipses, and it will cause us to fatally look back again at even the things that are now coming to the surface, and readdress more details on unveiling, maybe even details that we ourselves forgot. Um, and in the past, let's say before the Epstein list, many people couldn't really meet themselves as themselves. Okay? If you think about, I'm sorry, that segment is still stuck with me, because if you think about Mark de Tro, which was like the Epstein of Netherlands, protecting his Missy from the petering that he runs. and in return for her covering up for him, and you think about Okay? Nobody could meet their partner as who they are. They either had to put up a villain show or put up a saint show or put up a transactional relationship show. All of these are shows. The authentic self, the sonic soul, Aries. Sun is our heart. And it's the solar plexus and it's the I am. In in societies where they rape infants, so they will not have a sense of self. Very difficult to meet one another as who we are. And in the past, people could simply not meet as who they are, not fully. And sometimes not even to themselves. So the positive thing that I see here is that people are going to meet more as who they are. And it's going to happen by addressing those truths. And Aries is a conflictual sign. It's not Venus sign. It's sometimes not a negotiation, but the heat of an argument where we find ourselves meeting. And so my prediction is that perhaps particularly for the Sun in Aries, April. Let's take a. I already recorded, and today we had the March broadcast, which I recorded at Ben Gurion Airport. Um, we're going to have new moon in Aries 27 degrees, full moon in Libra 12 degrees Libra. Mars ingresses to Aries April 9, Sun um, conjoined Chiron and Neptune, Mercury, Neptune. Well, and Uranus ingresses to Gemini. Okay, so my prediction is that by April and during April, the I am of people is going to be way more there. And the I am of people is going to be way more. And because of Neptune, it can be present in its absence. The way I saw Neptune in Aries and the presence in its absence um, was literally, where am I? Where am I? And they do all those weird rituals. Or like, where am I? Oh, by somebody else. What does that mean? Their sense of self is right now dependent on your consciousness. Can I have me? It goes with them. Oh, okay, no, not okay. They are in a petering. Not okay. Not okay. You can't say it. Can I have my account? Can't. Am I conscious and missing? Something is missing. Who are they? What do they do? You don't want to know what they do for a living. So sometimes I'm not gonna say them. Sometimes when you can't say it. Sometimes I predict things. I predicted something for Uranus on Beta Persei, and even I had no idea. Like I'm in verbatim, but even I had no idea. I'm missing. It's true, but though this is funny. Um, it was like, what was it about? I mean, was it my appearance? Was it? It was is who we are. Yourself is there right now. Can I have me? My consciousness? No, no. Your soul is needed right now. Okay. Um, who's that? Is that the girl that talks about drop the Peter ring? I am. Hmm. Now, Aries, solid Aries is going to be uh, is going to be that place where, because of all these things that we cannot swipe under the rug anymore, then we are going to, of course, the ascendant will be 22ing, squaring Mercury, opposing the lot of fortune for the Netherlands 1800 chart. Um, Now, because we are confronting our collective individual shadow, um, at this time, and the juxtaposition of that, and many people wanting to know what happens. They need to know. They want to know. What do I want to know? It's also due diligence. So everybody, everybody is asking. Everybody want to know. Everybody needs to provide explanation. Where did the money go? That's the grand missing. So those are weird situations. It's true. And yeah. um, but the upside is that we're definitely going to be having way more authentic, hopefully, life in general. And this is where all these problems that people had because they couldn't really meet one another as who they are, or they couldn't really have any relationship that is not way more transactional than it would be. And I mean marital relations. Okay. Um, and this very simply because of the Epstein Bar and all that that entails. So, and uh, um, and through these conflictual situations, um, people come to meet themselves more authentically. And good thing because in Aries we set the boundaries of ourselves. And even if we can't, then we address the missing. Okay, we address the missing. Um, it is just so happened to be that, particularly with Saturn Neptune, the elite has tried to bring more people and bring more people and bring more people so that it got to the common people. The common people, whether they liked it or not, had to be influencers to just run a business or to even work at a corporate job because they would hire the people that would be content creators. Do you know how to run an online community? I'm not Mark the True, thank you. um, you can send us your CV, and no, I did not rape children. I'm already saving you that. Nothing interesting there. And the things that are that I got targeted for, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna tell to my CV. In any case, I'm going to collapse. Not really be able to stand to deadlines or any expectations from me. And then do the things that nobody expected. and not those that they wanted me to do. Okay, that's Aries. So, is it going to be like something to look forward to? Well, the reality is still a reality, but at least people are going to be way more aware that that reality does affect them. They can't they can't be the family guy because it from within the family people like they want to know, and because they don't even allow people to, then they're going to address. And the how can I say that? Because people address their truth so much so, smear campaigns don't really hold water. It's just gonna show who are the people that are still, wearing masks 3 years after COVID. And Aries is just the truth. Whether we, with Aries, it's kind of like whether we got what we want or didn't, we tell the truth. The truth is also being revealed with this Saturn because old issues lying dormant are being readdressed. Somebody says, "Oh, the Mark the True is the Belgian Epstein." Then you take a look at Saturn return to, and like, wait a second, who is that father? Why? Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa! Why did that father not? Yeah, I can't hear him talking about the network. So the father of Melissa couldn't hear Mark the True talk about the network of the other people that are not in jail that could still rape his daughter. Mm. What was that father doing for a living? Okay, Saturn brings that. It's not a cold case issue, but it brings that um, the authentic self, sometimes in the face of old issues. Aries can't stand line. Aries is terrible at line because it's so aggravated that it has to stray from its sense of self that you could almost hear the inflammation in the voice. And then Aries said, "Oh fuck it, that's not." People talk about Pluto and Aquarius as people speaking truth to power. With Saturn in Aries, it's people speaking truth, period. To power, not to power, to themselves, to everyone. And that definitely, how should I say it, we won't be able to avoid being ourselves. Even if it is where the self is missing, like what I talked about previously, which was one of the weirdest things to me. Now in Aries, Aries is not just the I am, it's also the what I actually want. And also the reality check on the things that are not it. For example, today, like many Pisces ascendants, I was trying to see, can I actually vacate before the war with Iran or something? And I was thinking about a hotel I was at. And I'm like, wait a second, do they also have hidden cameras? What if I'll book a vacay there, but go with a Dana Balgady talisman? Now, because I want a vacay. But I won't be able to shower. That's kind of weird. So is that the only place where I wasn't sexually harassed? Like hostels and stuff? Not just because it was pricey, but because there were hidden cameras? Maybe there weren't. I don't know. Olive Hotel Naria. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. They treated me very nicely. Is it because they were filming me without my knowing? Now, these are honest questions, and even the richest of, in fact, the richer people, the richest of people, also face these questions. Now, goddamn, I want to vacate. Before I start shooting missiles. Neptune rules hospitals, but also hotels. I think the desire for people to people. So a lot of us are going to be like really authentic about what we do want. Every time something is in Aries, this happens. This is why the Me Too was unlike other things, because Uranus and Aries conjoined in Aries, and it wasn't staying at that did that to me, this did that to me, that. It was like, hey, what about actually having recovery from sexual violence? What about living a life? What about enjoying sexuality? What about me being sensual for me? What about women to leave domestic violence? They need to be independent. I was independent, so that's why they targeted me. I need a fucking vacay. That's what I need. To rehabilitate what it happened in the workplace. Fuck that. I need a vacay. Cult wants to enslave people. Income based. What income based? Recovering from a dumb fuckery trauma. Can't trust any living thing in my life. Okay? People talk about what is the truth, what they actually want. It's not my personal choice to come to a society that is kind of Nazi. No matter what country you are, what your country did, including those that are not yet countries. So, from that standpoint, the people actually are authentically who they are and state their desire, state what they actually do want. Only from there they can be more authentic, whether it's agreements or relations. And Neptune makes it such a thing where it's either authentic, I am what I actually want. In fact, that's the only option. People are willing to go into what's underneath. Because Neptune can cause a certain loss when we state something. It's like, that's not what we wanted. But Neptune can give us the miraculous healing. It's like what we actually wanted underneath that. But it's not for another person to figure out, which is very important. We're not in Scorpio land. And by the way, Scorpio land, when Scorpio thinks they know what the other wants more than the other, usually they are in rapey mindset. So this one is going to be Aries, rather up front. And people here won't compromise on, how should I say that? Transactional. They're not going to compromise on transactional things. Like those who by April 2026 are still thinking in transactional thinking, because of you guys, we're gonna have A-bombs. Like, because of you guys, the world is going to be radioactive. Like, no shade. But if people still thinking in transactional thinking in 2020 fucking 6, in Aries, this is why the sun exalts in Aries, because when we assert the I am, we're not settling for transactional things. And we definitely are not loyal to transactional things, which is why people had so many problems in relationships before the Epstein list. They couldn't say it, they couldn't say it, they couldn't say it, they don't speak of it, don't speak of it, da, 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 da. It ended up being in transactional relationships because the only one who would be with them, like with them, committed with them, would be the closest approximate is the Missy of Manir de Trou. He protected her from the network, she protected him from the network. So when are you guys are having children? You wouldn't think this couple have no skeleton in the closet. How authentic they are to one another. But they do. And then when the skeletons were out of the closet, why didn't she divorce him? He protected her from the network. As long as they're married, she can't testify. The How do people stay? How do people stay single? Anybody thinking lavender in 2024, 2025? It's like lavender, lavender, but but there's some skeletons in the closet if we do that. Oh, Anybody got engagement ring of necessity? Are they married? Are they single? Um, they're Schrodinger's cat. The marital status is Schrodinger's cat. Okay, people couldn't cross the transactional threshold before the Epstein files. Why are you not dating a guy? I'm an ambitious woman. I'd date a guy ambitious. I can't. We'd have skeleton in the closet. I like a guy who supports my goals and dreams. I support a guy goals. We can't. We'd have skeletons. So what do you do for a living? I can't do for a living. I'd have to have skeletons in the closet. I got 3 letters. B, S, N. I am. For those who are not Dutch, that means address, which everybody knows. But people need to have skeletons in the closet. They wanted me to be a roommate of a serial killer. When I was, not for long. The word about taxi driver, then I found out the family member is fired from the church and becoming a taxi driver. Um, but there was the double Dutch, and then there is a double Dutch comedian. Uh, Saskia, we miss you. Um, they literally call themselves double. So way more authentic communications. Everybody's truths come out. um, the skeletons are leaking out of the closet. Sometimes in liquid form. It's fucking radioactive outside. Each red fruit says, "Angel, yeah." Um, so, not only challenging things, but also a tremendous relief. With Aries, the tremendous relief of not having to hide, lie to ourselves, to others. Now, here is one thing that I wouldn't count on with Aries, is having to depend on people acting either against their best interest or in a way that is inauthentic to themselves. Okay? Aries loves live and let live people. Aries doesn't love economic hitmanship people. Aries logos is damn right I want to have, I want to live, I want to enjoy life. I know very well it's in my best interest not to overrun anybody's self-interest. This is why Ares, so associated with Aries, was the god that did what? Killed the rapists. And we can look at it metaphysically as kill the act of rape. Now, which people are going to suffer the most? Is those that need to dominate, to enslave, or to be in control. Okay? Think about the Me Too. Everybody was smug. The Me Too came out. It was like, yeah, we'll do that, we'll blame shit, we'll do that. They believed them. It created a consciousness shift that could no longer be withdrawn. That is Aries. People began to rethink their life before the Me Too and after. They began to think their sense of self is connected to the ability to say yes, no, and maybe when it comes to sex. In marriage, out of marriage. But it's true. They began to call misplaced arousal what it is and not think of it as amazing sex where actually a person is in trauma bond and eventually ends up assassinating or causing the persecution of the cult leader. This is the truth. In Taurus, we would explore what is that we do want, what is relaxed arousal, what is being able to receive, what is being sensual and enjoying something that's not some indoctrinated fantasy. Oh, oops. We actually, in Gemini, the role of technology. In Cancer, oh, underneath all that, actually, wait a second, I need to be my inner child again. Before I even meet erotic needs or sensual or. Oh, then I'm able to actually be loving. And detox from all the weird medications that I had to take before that because of rape. So that the water can arise and the kidneys are clear. And then address even deeper issues. I'm going by the signs, by the way. I was right at Scorpio. Um, which will allow me to travel and explore the world feeling safer and saner. Climb a mountain. Find myself where I know I'm no longer am at either top or bottom of any mountain, but it's some I don't know unusual tribe or society, and then go into seclusion, hibernating before the new rejuvenated sense of self Aries season. Anything that comes with war, aggression, or wish that somebody would let go and submit. You know, it's kind of like if you're not an inspiration to in such a way that a person is just relaxing and consistently safe and free with you, don't call them to relax and submit. Don't call them to halt the war and no need to. It's being perceived as, somebody that doesn't honor boundaries. So it's not safe and free to be around. And this is where the skeletons come out of the closet. What's preventing a person from being that? What they've been doing for a living. So then they try to have a smear campaign because somebody said no. Well, somebody said, well, I can't commit to something that's not consistent. Okay, not because we don't come with judgment and assumptions. We just see that as inconsistency. And hey, this okay, that was nice, but then that behavior is not. I'm not here for trauma bond. Sorry. What's underneath that inconsistency? Because you trying to trying to grab my attention, saying or showing some things that are actually true, that are authentically, and then what's underneath that inconsistency? Particularly if I live my life again, I live my life again. Okay, what's underneath that inconsistency? Are there skeletons in the closet? Okay, so now we both understand that there are skeletons in the closet. That's that Epstein bar of both our life satisfaction relationships. Now, by this time, I think a lot of people have seen a lot of people in various situations. And so they cannot unsee. Let's say somebody, I don't know, lost too much weight because they've been struggling with a petering, gained too much weight because they've been trying to set boundaries to a petering, became, I don't know, over dollified and made up because they've been trafficked by petering.